going on, guys? We're back, and this time I'm doing something different. I'm going to be watching Death Battle reaction. It's Bakugo versus Reze. I watched Death Battle for a while now, but I've never really reacted to one, so but do one. I think it's a pretty good one that's coming up. It's Bakugo versus Reze. Both obviously people with explosions and bombs as their power. Off rip, obviously, I'm going with my boy Bakugo, especially after the last season where he got like juiced. Managed to like solo one for all and shit, and keep up with Shigaraki as peak, you know. And why Reze was pretty strong. I don't know. I feel like Bakugo can have it in the bag. Yeah.
Well, look who's here. Fight! Bakugo versus Reze, the god of explosions versus the bomb devil. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh, the animation looks like it's different. It's not like the past couple ones, like
nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, the rush of the shockwave, the flash of
Excel and
I love it when stuff goes
metal.
boom. And no one knows that feeling better than Katsuki Bakugo. When your
The
name
goats.
literally means powerful bomb, it's no wonder he was born with
He's actually like
explosion.
one of my favorite like side characters.
Humongous kabooms
He had a
from his
great
bombs.
redemption arc.
I can only dream of having hands that
Because he was like a bit of a knobhead in the first few seasons, but
Bakugo inherited his
no,
from his
kind of like a Vegeta vibe.
It was a combination of his father's combustible acid sweat and his mother's glycerin skin secretions, making Bakugo's sweat basically like nitroglycerin. And the more he sweats, the bigger the booms. His parents basically made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy. Bakugo felt similarly, so much so that he started bullying his childhood friend who happened to be born without a quirk. Yeah, okay, he's kind of a snot-nosed turd sometimes, but come on, Wiz! The kabooms!
The kabooms.
They're so
Oh,
cool.
God.
Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body. In the same way that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially with his rigorous training. Bakugo quickly picked up on how to use his explosions to obliterate anything in sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic speeds, which requires a ton of focus and on-the-fly calculations. And despite getting this incredibly dangerous quirk when he was 4, he somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of.
Actually true.
Bakugo was truly a prodigy.
That's plot armor though.
Greatness. And his only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal idol, All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the only person who wins no matter what. Absolute victory. No problem for the main character. Except Katsuki wasn't the protagonist that he thought he was. That would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo bullied. In truth, he was threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless. Really? That crybaby's the main character? Well, Bakugo's inferiority complex would only get worse when Deku somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero high school, UA High. There, he would learn to be a superhero and fully develop his ultimate moves. Like flying through the sky faster than sound with turbo speed, lightning people with stun grenade, focusing his blasts into armor-piercing shots, or making a big-ass tornado of death. The howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen, and then igniting it all for one hell of a boom. He's pretty smart when it comes to strategizing mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did. UA High also aided Bakugo's development by preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers, gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat.
And I really found like the mask kind of like the things at the back of his head.
Massive blast.
Well then, I think his suit's pretty decent.
To build up stronger attacks. Or the Strafe Panzer, these badass turrets mounted to his back that store his sweat as ammo. With all of that, it wasn't long before Bakugo made his hero debut, called the Bombshell Hero, Great Explosion Murder God, Dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the merrier.
But despite some early wins, Bakugo failed
Just
to
call him
live up to his
Dynamite.
own sky-high expectations. He had the makings of a great hero, if only he could get out of his own way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains, ultimately leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something needed to change.
So he vented his frustrations in a slugfest with Deku and realized something crucial. That the kind of absolute victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself, but victory for everyone.
He was starting to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow,
Bakugo's powerful enough to shatter Todoroki's heaven-piercing ice wall, fast enough to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch light beams, and tough enough to survive, well,
being dead? Yep, you heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't main character plot armor, I don't know what is.
his
True.
stamina is perhaps the craziest thing about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of all of his explosions.
Even with the overuse of his blasts literally tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk awakened.
Essentially, when a quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his explosions into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain or blow apart UA itself. Judging by the school's size, we can estimate Bakugo's
I'm interested to see how Reze compares.
300 kilotons of TNT.
Given Bakugo's whole deal is explosions, it makes sense to science out.
I watched
what
the
a
Chainsaw
ton
Man
of
movie, it was good,
TNT
like,
actually is.
I think her big strength is that she's like, she can like regenerate.
A
chemical compound composed of hydrogen,
Only
nitrogen,
she's in
oxygen,
devil
and
form, but
carbon.
obviously it's gonna have her in devil form, otherwise it wouldn't be a fight.
A pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster.
And these explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second, almost 400 times the speed of sound.
And that's not all. Now he can detonate his sweat remotely and from all over his body. Not
Yeah,
just
he
his
got a
palms.
big
With all of this
boost in
crazy
power in the last
bullshit,
season.
Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth, enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right, the main villain. Who's the protagonist now, Deku?
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to Deku, he proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever. Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the
I wonder
world
if
over
My
here.
Hero shipping him will be a thing.
Dynamite! Dynamite! Wiz, what happened to you? You look funny. And
Available to
didn't you? They
arm.
That'd be bad.
That's hey.
After that, death, war, famine, conquest. Humanity has been plagued by all manner of ills since they first crawled out of the primordial ooze. In the world of Chainsaw Man, there is nothing to fear but fear itself.
Because fear itself is real, and they're called devils.
Literally devils from hell. These monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares, and their power is directly proportional to that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet, like, you know, a chicken. But what about the bat devil, or the ghost devil, or the devil embodying man's fears of one of the greatest weapons it's ever created, the bomb devil?
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's current host, Reze. If
That was sad
is
that
her
Makima
name.
killed her at the end of the movie.
But she's
I kinda
actually
wanted it to
Soviet
be like
assassin
a
trained
main
for years to be
character.
one of the deadliest killers on the planet.
Enjoyed
Basically a
Reze.
Black Widow, a cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed up as this.
But all Reze wanted was a safe, normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's country mouse.
Too bad. You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
Boom.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was implanted with a fragment of the bomb devil and became a hybrid, a human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity, transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's, and with her martial arts training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close. Also, Wiz, check out the bomb for a head!
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally. Should devils like Reze take any damage whatsoever, they can heal by consuming blood.
And that lets hybrids survive some pretty insane stuff, like having their limbs torn off, getting bisected clean in half, or being roasted alive. Just slurp some blood and they're good as new.
Especially useful considering the bomb devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze can emit explosions from any surface of her body, even tearing off limbs and
the regeneration's
will.
Damn, that's hardcore.
the biggest factor in this.
Through the sky at hypersonic speeds, maneuver and redirect herself in midair, and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities. Making herself stronger, the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
She can even turn her own body into different types of real-world bombs to massively enhance the power.
Oh wait, I kind of forgot how OP she was, because she lost.
Her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living
maybe
weapon.
it wasn't that long.
This made her feared across the devil world as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see, you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
Whoa,
Here I thought
spoilers.
chainsaws were for boring
I didn't
stuff
know this.
like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This ability makes the Chainsaw Devil the most important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, horny teenage boy just looking for anyone, to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target, she got to know him and found they weren't so different. Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a hostile world, Denji wanted to drink up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse to her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not
Yeah, when she
professional,
bit his tongue
and
off.
she gave
That's
Denji
crazy.
one parting gift, to teach him the way devils did battle before he died.
As the embodiment of one of the deadliest weapons known to man, Reze's power is off the charts, capable of creating an explosion more than
Yeah, she
400 meters in
absolutely
diameter.
destroyed
That's
him.
over 4 football fields long.
I honestly thought he wouldn't win after how badly he got beat in the first fight. I was like, yeah,
More than
there's no way he's
comparable to
winning this.
nuclear weapons, which is really impressive considering Reze is not the devil of nuclear bombs. That's apparently an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times
Whoa,
the speed of
spoilers.
sound.
She's even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby to her hydrogen bomb.
Unfortunately for Reze, Denji took her lessons to heart and proved he was more than a fitting host for the Chainsaw Devil.
He whooped her ass, but spared her life, just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never realized. She simply changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man's bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb. The
Damn.
battle's about to start, and I hope you've got
Yeah,
something
sad.
good to hear these kaboos
But I still
with,
gotta root
like
for
our
Bakugo.
sponsor, Raycon.
That's right, Boomstick. I've been using Raycon for many years now.
Real action
The music
rocket
closed off from your surround
stuff for sale, so I'm sure you'll find sponsoring death.
.com.
W up.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's
Come on,
time for
Bakugo.
a death battle!
sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
Better villains than you have tried, lady. You tell your bosses that after I send you back in a coffin!
How would I tell them that if I was already dead? Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die!
Not a fan of the voice actor for Bakugo, but I'm kind of biased. Already pulled that out. Just probably gonna throw her head back.
Oh, damn!
Oh, animation change. Yeah, she's martial arts studied. Wait, already going for Howler?
Move it or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
She just bite him.
Boom.
Leave them out of this!
Oh no.
For what it's worth, Dynamite, your blood was delicious.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew. My blood isn't the only thing you drank. It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
Oh. Flashy.
I'm aiming for absolute victory! Howitzer! Impact! Cluster!
Can I kill her though? Oh, demon.
Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin.
Yes. W.
Oh, Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
Please just shut up. On the surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's break this fight down into
They were
3
pretty
categories:
evenly matched, to
their
be
speed,
fair.
their stamina, and their firepower.
First up, let's talk speed.
Both Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle of fights. To the casual observer, at least, they'd seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people they've fought to compare.
Season set,
Reze has
the last
battled Chainsaw
season.
Man, who could match and defeat
Bakugo
someone
won
using
it.
the Gun Devil's power.
The
It was
same
fucking
gun devil that could
big power
literally
increase
fly
I
around
got.
the world, killing millions of people at over 500 times the speed of sound.
Impressive, but compare that to Bakugo fighting Shigaraki, who could react fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
That's
Yeah.
over 1,000 times faster. And that was before Bakugo's quirk awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance Reze could ever get the drop on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However, speed
Yeah, it
doesn't
makes sense.
matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Bakugo's durability is mind-boggling. He's survived being impaled through the torso and has even brought himself back to life.
But unlike Reze, his stamina does eventually hit a limit.
Yeah.
Every explosion he makes whittles him down just a little bit more and uses up more and more of his sweat.
Yeah.
Without a break, he can eventually run out.
Whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually
Reze's
likes
gotta
to
take
get up
stamina,
close and
surely.
personal.
Furthermore, her devil hybrid physiology gives her an actual regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However, it's unlikely it would ever get to that point. The biggest factor in this fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! first, we gotta compare their two biggest blasts, Reze's nuclear light bomb against Denji versus Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And the difference is obvious. Based on calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over 100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil?
Coughing baby or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
Greater than Bakugo, right? But that's not all. Again, Bakugo's howitzer impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being earlier on in the series, it was ginormous. Almost 3 kilometers in radius.
Or just over 2 megatons of TNT. 5 times more
How do you
powerful
calculate
than the
this shit?
Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze do.
And this was Bakugo before reaching his full power in his fight against All For One.
How do you
Bakugo
calculate
takes
this?
the final edge in
I'm not
explosion.
gonna argue with
And
it.
remember,
But
Bakugo withstands the recoil of all his blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina,
like, there's been like the ones where like Reverse Flash and like Goku Black and talk about time travel and all types of shit, and like power levels, obviously, like usually speeds and power levels and all that type of stuff, and like do a bunch of calculations. I'm like, yeah, sure, that makes sense, whatever. But when it comes to like explosions and megatons and kilotons and whatever the fuck, I'm just like head scratching. Like, how do you even calculate that?
Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
And Devil healing factors can be overtaxed with enough damage. Hell, she needed to drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as Bakugo, she would not get the chance to heal
W
consistently,
Bakugo.
or perhaps at all.
Oh, I
And
wonder what's
what
next
happens
though.
when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
Jesus
The winner
Christ.
is Katsuki Bakugo.
Bombshell,
Let's go,
hero,
Kachan.
Great explosion, murder, god, dynamite. Next time on Death Battle.
Minions.
Subscribe
Oh,
and join us as a
Groove,
member
it's
to see
Megamind.
more Death
I don't know what
Battle.
Megamind
And don't
is,
forget
but
to
I'm saying
order
no
your
Groove.
very own Wiz plush from YouTube's.
WW. Not really interested in the next Death Battle, so I might skip that one. But if they bring out another cool one or one that I think I'll enjoy, I'll probably react to it again. So thanks for watching, and peace.